The University of Pavia is one of the oldest universities in the world, founded in 1361 and offering degree courses in all fields of study. Students are welcomed into the friendly and dynamic atmosphere of the city campus, full of culture enriching their life. The university is an active promoter of research in collaboration with the world's most prestigious academic institutions. The International Department of the University of Pavia is strengthening the international vocation of our academic institution by implementing several projects spread around the world. Since 2020, Pavia is one of the 7 historical universities founding the European Alliance EC2U, European Campus of City Universities. This multicultural and multilinguistic consortium works hard to transmit sustainable development values and brings them into the daily life of academics and citizens. All the activities in Pavia are organized in synergies with the municipality and local associations, with the main goals of developing an innovative space, allowing mobility to flow freely between the 7 universities and cities, and contributing to overcome cliched views of regional and national identities by promoting social inclusion. The University of Pavia strongly believes in such international and ambitious projects, which allow the institution to be in the leading position toward adaptation to changes and search of new paths to explore and new life-changing discoveries to be made.
Welcome everybody to join this webinar, and great to see already people joining in from different countries, and we're glad to see that. So if you haven't done so, you can chat where you're from, so then we can also see who is joining from where. My name is Luc Mulling. I'm the moderator of today, and you joined this webinar to learn about sustainable management for a better future, delivered to you by the University of Pavia. And we're going over to them in just a minute. But before that, let me briefly explain to you some of the options we have. Well, one of them you already see, the interactive option of chatting with us, but you can also ask questions, but please do so through the tab called Questions at the right bottom. We will be answering the questions at the end. So for the live audience, you have that option. Now, in case you are watching the recording, you can also still write your questions. So you can do that through the same panel. And of course, we cannot answer them live, but we can come back to you later. What else do we have? Well, we have a polling question. We already opened up one polling question to know a little bit more about your academic background. So thanks for also answering that. And I will be opening up some more polling questions later throughout the session. Last but not least, we have a little fun fact. We have emoticons. So at the bottom, I saw some of you already found it. You can find a button called React. And there you can click on, yes, that one, exactly. So that's when you like something, when you hear something, and just for the presenters also to know people are listening and that you're actually, there's an audience there. You can connect and interact with us that way. So anyway, without further ado, let's go over to the University of Pavia, where we have a lineup of presenters ready for you. And first off, we're going over to Chiara De Martini. She will introduce herself and the other presenters. Good luck.
Thank you very much, Luke. Very nice to see you all and welcome to this webinar regarding sustainable management here at the University of Pavia. So my name is Chiara De Martini and I'm the head of the Master in International Business and Entrepreneurship within which you can study sustainable management. Now can I ask Elena if she can introduce herself?
Yes, my name is Elena Pigoli and I'm the administrative coordinator of MIBE. I'm actually, I think, the oldest because I have been here since MIBE was born in 2009. So I am the oldest.
No, thank you very much, Elena. Can I kindly ask Leila to introduce herself?
Hi everyone, I'm Leila Zika and I'm a student of the Sustainable Management course, and this is the first year of the course and I just done my first semester, so yeah.
Thank you very much, Leila. Now, Calbron, it's your turn.
You're on mute, Calvin. Yeah.
See, so a fun fact is if you press that mute button, nobody can hear you. Hey, so I'm Calvin Wachter. I'm from the US. I graduated from the MIBE program 2 years ago. And, I'm just here to talk about my experience and answer any questions y'all got.
Thank you very much. Are we starting with the presentation now?
Yep.
So if you want to learn something about sustainable management at the University of Pavia, this is the right place to do so. And so starting from this year, the Master in International Business and Entrepreneurship has introduced a new curriculum in I don't know what's happening with the presentation, Luke.
Yeah, I'll bring it back. Sorry, please don't click anyone else. There you go.
Thank you very much. So I was saying that starting from this year, we have introduced a new curriculum in sustainable management beyond digital management and international management within the Master International Business and Entrepreneurship, which is a 120 ECTS master program offered in presence at the University of Pavia. And so we're really eager to start this new curriculum. And the first question, of course, will be why do we need to study something around sustainable management? Here in this slide, we can see the Arctic Ocean, and these two photos are captured by an NASA telescope. The first one on the left-hand side of the slide is from 1984, whereas the second one on the right-hand side is from 2012. And as you can see, the size of the ice has reduced a lot. So basically here there is evidence that we need to do something with regards to the corporate impact on the environment. Sustainability is usually depicted as a green thing. However, this is not always the case. Sustainability can be also split into two parts. The first one is to sustain and the capability to do so. So here we can see a photo of an oil spill in the Gulf Ocean, in the Gulf area, and this has been a disaster from an environmental standpoint. So we are not just looking at how green things are, but we also need to prevent events like this one. So what is sustainable management and which are the main hot topic at the moment? So usually we translate sustainable management into the ESG acronym, which stands for environmental, social and governance pillars. These are the three pillars that make up all of the topics around sustainability. And the corporations are called to do something with regards to all of the three pillars. Basically, with regards to the first pillar, the environmental one, we are looking at all of the practices that are aimed at reducing the negative impact of corporate activities in order to try and reduce the increase of temperature below 1.5 degrees. With regards to the social pillar, we are looking at the fairness, we are looking at equity and inclusion within corporate activities that happens within and outside the corporate boundaries. Whereas with regards to the third pillar, governance, this pillar is aimed at providing the main basic foundations for sustaining both the environmental and the social pillars. So without a good governance, a strong governance, we cannot have good environmental and social performance. So here, all of the board composition, executive compensation topics are studied. What will you learn? Here you can see a picture that has been taken from one of the modules of the sustainable management curriculum, and basically you can see that students are very, very close to the professors, so we are supposed to provide you with cutting-edge knowledge, but also hands-on training and learning. So we would like you to have a real learning experience, to interact a lot with both your mates and also professors, in order to gain the experience and the knowledge that you're supposed to apply as soon as you graduate. With regards to the content of this curriculum, we can see that since the master is a 120 CTS program, it is split into 2 years. And within the first year, we've got 2 semesters. In the first semester, you're going to attend and take some exams with regards to performance management of ESG practices, which I'm teaching, by the way. Financial markets and sustainability, which is around mathematical approaches adopted within the financial markets. Sustainable development law, which is around how we can adopt regulations in order to foster sustainability. And then sustainability reporting, governance and ethics, which is more about how we can communicate sustainability performance outside the corporate boundaries. With regards to the second semester, the first year, we've got innovability and circular entrepreneurship. So we know that circular economy is becoming very, very important and popular. So here you've got a chance to learn something about it. Energy and environmental economics, sustainable corporate finance and ESG metrics, and we know that this is a field that is ever-changing and in becoming. And then you've got an option to choose between 3 different modules with regards to sustainable management, managing and research for business, and coding and database management, which are very, very transactional skills and competencies. With regards to the second year, again, we've got 2 semesters, and in the first semester, you've got some modules around innovation, international economics, but also healthcare management, which is very, very key with regards to the main topic of sustainable management. Global value chain, so we know that supply chain is something very key with regards to sustainability, and behavior design for strategic management. Finally, you've got another set of options with regards to the let's say secondary languages or other languages that you can learn from the University of Pavia, together with business analytics with Excel. Finally, you are supposed to have either an internship or some elective courses. Moreover, foreign students are supposed to take a compulsory module in Italian language for foreign students. And then you have your thesis to be defended in front of the graduation committee. Why do we want students coming to Pavia and study sustainable management? Because they've got a lot of opportunities in order to go international. So we've got 15 plus agreements with regards to double degree programs. So basically students are graduating and getting their degrees from two different universities, one in Pavia and then another university. Most of them are in Europe, but we've got also some agreements with non-European universities. As you can see, there are both national and international companies which are highly committed to work together with the Master International Business and Entrepreneurship, and also with specific regard to the sustainable management curriculum. But finally, I can see that students are very, very interested into career opportunities. So on the right-hand side of this slide, you can see a set of multinational companies which are currently recruiting in this field. So you can actually apply as a Chief Sustainability Officer or a Sustainable Supply Chain Manager into one of these multinational companies. Now I think that I'm over with the presentation, and I would like to start with interviews. Does that look all right, Luke?
Yes, go ahead.
So thank you very much. So here in Pavia, but also connected from the US, we've got a couple of students who are currently studying for the MIBE master program, who have already studied here and have already graduated. I would like to say thank you to both of them for joining us today, and I would like to ask Leila first why she decided to enroll into the MIBE Master Program, and specifically why she decided for the Sustainable Management track.
Well, I studied for my first 3 years of university here in Pavia, so I was born and raised here, and honestly, when I graduated and I was writing my thesis, I was looking for another university to study because I just wanted to change. But my professor, Velio, told me to look at the MIBE courses because there was a new course this year that I didn't know anything about that. And so I just looked at it and I immediately fell in love because I wanted to change, because here we have international business, for example, but it is a course that you can find almost in every university. But sustainable management is, I think, here in Pavia, we are one of the first universities to have a course like this. And if you're sensitive to the environmental issues or with the general well-being, you are going to love this course because it is very interesting. It talks about topics that we see with our eyes every day. So this is the reason why I chose this university, basically because it is one of the first that has a course like this.
Thank you very much, Leila. And how is it going?
Very good. I'm loving it because there are lots of reasons to love it. First of all, the lectures are very interactive, both with the professor and we have lots of guests. Like every week we have at least one guest from a subject and they come from big businesses, big companies, and they talk to us and we have this very direct interaction with them. And if you are Italian, you are going to love the way that exams are taken in this master, because sometimes we have written exams like usual, but they don't compose the 100% of the final grade. They are sometimes 50% or 40% or 30%, because the majority of the grade is composed by our group works that we do with our classmates. And this is great because we have the opportunity also to interact a lot with our colleagues and make a lot of new friendships, and yeah, I love that.
And so, what's your experience until now? So you said that your first semester, so you are quite fresh to MIBE and sustainable management curriculum, but have we met your expectations?
I think that I can say that you met my expectation, because before starting, I was very excited to start. I was honestly very excited, and now that the first semester is done, I can still feel this excitement for the new semester that is going to start next month. So yeah, I love that, and I also love that I'm going to have the opportunity to leave. That's what I wanted to do, and I can do that with the University of Pavia, because I think that on August I'm going to start my double degree or Erasmus. I still have to decide, but I'm going to go in Finland. That is I think the greener city in Europe. So it's amazing to go there to study sustainable management and to see how actually a city can be sustainable, and it is going to be very international. And I mean, Pavia is still a lot international. I couldn't imagine that we were going to have so many Erasmus students also in our class. So yeah, it's very great. It's a very good experience, and I love that I chose to stay here.
Thank you very much, Leila. And what do you expect for your future? Are you expecting to work within the sustainability field, or?
I think that I'm going to work for this field for sure, and I'm very happy that I chose this course, because companies are like desperately looking for us. They need us in the future, because sustainability is going to be a very hot topic. It already is, but the more we go on with the years, and the more we are going to be important for companies. So I can say that I'm going to have great opportunities for sure, and I can't wait to experience them.
Sure. I would say that sustainability jobs are highly in demand. So I can say that for sure you will find your best fit for your next career, either in Italy or outside. So thank you very much again, Leila, for your...
I have a question. Have you already started to feel this feeling of being a leader?
Yes, of
belonging
course.
to a community?
Yes, because a lot of parties are organized for MIBErs and by MIBErs. And yeah, we created this community between each other that is very, very great. And we feel like a family. So yeah, it's nice.
Thank you very much, Leila, again. And Calbron, can I ask you a couple of questions?
Sure.
So the very first question would be, how did it happen that a student with a bachelor from a US university applied for the MIBE here, the University of Pavia?
That's actually a pretty long story. So basically with me was I knew that I wanted to study outside of the US. I think when it comes down to it, it seemed really fun, right? So I applied to schools from France, Italy, Germany, and Belgium. And one of the best things about the Italian, MIBE, was that Elena, she's the administrator. I sent an email, and then like the very next day I got a response. When I was applying to schools in Spain, responses took 2, 3, 4 weeks. Germany, a week or two. Belgium, a week or two. And so for me, the biggest thing was just the fact that they were very responsive, and it felt like they cared. And so then when I chose the program, it was definitely different than what I expected, because everybody here, you get to know everybody. And as well as like Elena, doing the visa process for an American was a little bit difficult, right? And she helped me out immensely. I would email her at 10 p.m. at night. She'd respond the next day right away. I would come in her office and talk and ask her questions. Like even now, a few weeks ago, I asked her a question about how to get my degree. So the biggest thing for MIBE is that, sure, it's a great program. You can learn a lot. But the best thing for me was that they're very helpful, and they want to make sure that you succeed. and I can't say the same about, other programs. So how did I choose it? I went on Google. I went through the top 200 international universities. I went through every single school, went through their see if they offered English programs, read all their catalogs. Then I went down to 5 schools, and then from there, from 200 to 5 to 1. So, and I made a great choice.
Yeah, so I agree with you. Thank you, Calvin, for this answer. Actually, you completed your degree during a very difficult time. However, it's good to have some mates and also some administrative support that helps you figure out all of the little things that happens to all of the students. So, yeah, thank you very much, Elena, for supporting our students. So, do you think that the MIBE degree affected to some extent your job career as you graduated, or even before that?
Yeah, absolutely. So actually, during my first year, I sent out a few emails, and so actually, I said, "Hey, I go to Italian school. In year 2, I'm getting a degree from a French school, right?" So actually, I had a meeting with a CEO of a company during my first year. The reason why is because, like, when you can get degrees from different countries, it's so unique, right? And especially as an American, I was like, "Hey, I'm an American. I have 2 undergrad degrees from the U.S. I'll have 1 degree from Italy, and 1 degree from France." That's really attractive to employers, right? So I was having interviews during my first year. For when it came time for my internship, I had 2, 3, 4 offers immediately. So for my program, second semester of second year, so your 4th semester, I had a 6-month-long internship, right? Then after that, I started working after my internship, and actually I got, it happens, but I got a promotion to a manager of development last week, right? So I've been working for less than 2 years, and I've gotten to a spot that takes most people 4 to 5 years to get to that spot. And a really big reason is because of MIBE and the skills I learned, but also how it looks on a resume, right? From, because the biggest thing about MIBE and why I chose it as well was the double degree program. You spend 1 year in Italy, and you can spend 1 year in any other country. There's Finland, there's France, there's Spain, there's Germany. I, for one, chose a French school, but just the fact that I was able to get a degree in business analytics from France. And that's also a big factor, as well as that I got a lot of skills from Italy, but I also got a lot of skills from France as well. And, now one of my things I do is I do, computer stuff like analytics and business intelligence. So like I can do the whole like talky business thing, but also like the nerdy computer stuff too. So.
Thank you. And with regard to your role now, what are you doing and what do you expect to do in the coming future?
Sure. So what I do now? So my official title is Manager of Development and Business Analytics. I work for a company called Compass Surgical. And so what I do is, so let's say like you hurt your shoulder or you hurt your hip, right? And so in Italy, you go to a hospital and you get a surgery. Well, in the US, you can actually go to a smaller building called a surgery center, because as everyone knows, if you hurt your hip or your shoulder, it could cost 30, 40,000 euros in the US, right? Well, at a surgery center, it costs about 15 or 20,000 euros, right? So basically what I do is I help my company find those centers using analytics and data, and also help my company find the doctors using analytics and data, right? Because when I was attending MIBE, they had a healthcare, they had a life science, or like you call it like a life health science course, right? I did that. And so I got some of the health skills from that. I got some of the business skills from MIBE as well, and the financial skills. And then year 2, the data skills. What do I want to do in the future? Hopefully in about a year, I'll be one of the guys who travels and I'll talk to doctors, like all the business things you see in movies, talking to doctors, like talking to business people, having fancy dinners. Hopefully in about a year, I'll be the one who's traveling, doing fancy dinners and kind of, having some pretty cool experiences with my job. So that's what I do, what I hope to do. My long-term goal is, one day I want to like be a chief development officer or maybe a CEO, but that's 10 years in the future. But definitely MIBE gave me a really good fast track to get to that spot.
And would you recommend this program to other foreign international students? And have you got 3 main selling points if you want to share with us?
Yeah, I definitely would. No, I mean, of course, studying internationally, it's not as easy as studying like in your home country, right? Like there's some difficulties, and with me, right, I did it during COVID. My first 6 months was no COVID, and it was awesome because like there's something called Erasmus where you meet like all the smartest students from every country, and so there's a lot of events. I was going to events every night, Thursdays, Fridays, Saturdays, and then when COVID hit, it all went away. It was actually I did the very last event. It was a building was packed, 300 people, and it was actually when COVID was in Italy. We just had no idea. So like just imagine like the transmission there, right? But no, it was great. But you definitely should if you're thinking about it, right? But just think about the why. Why do you want to study MIBE? Why do you want to go to Italy? If you're already an Italian, great. You have an awesome program and it's easy for you. If you're a foreigner, I think you'd love it as well, but you have to be invested, right? If it's like I think I might do this program, then you want to do some more research on it, right? But if it's something you really want to do, like I can say without a doubt that MIBE gave me the skills, but it also gave me the resume to be where I'm at now. Because it's like when I was talking to the CEO before I got my job from him, he was like, one of the biggest things whenever you're doing a resume is, all right, how are you different than everybody else? How is your resume better than everyone else's, right? And one of the things is that if you can get a master's degree, it's already great. If you can get a master's degree from a foreign country, that's even better. And if you can get 2 master's degrees from 2 different countries, I mean, who else can say that? Who else can say that they do that, right? And so that's one of my things, that if you want a unique degree, if you want to gain skills, and also you want to have a really cool time traveling, like I went to 17 different countries in 2 years. Like what other grad school program can you just on a weekend go to Turkey for fun, or like go to the Eiffel Tower for fun, right? And, that's what I did, and so it was pretty cool.
Thank you very much. And so I think that we are done with the 2 interviews. So can I leave the floor back to Luke?
Yes, sure. And I think what we'll go over is the last part, which is still the part from admissions. So we will go over to that part where Elena will be presenting that. And if I'm not mistaken, these are her slides. So we continue with that. Just to briefly mention for everybody, also we have opened up different polling questions. So thank you all for your answers, and already for those that have answered it, thanks a lot. And to let us know a little bit of your feedback and the questions as well, and we will come back to those questions in a couple of minutes. I think we can now continue with Elena with the admission requirements.
All right. Okay, obviously we've concentrated on the sustainable management curriculum because it's very recent, but obviously MIBE is more. There are also other 2 curricula, which are international management and digital management, which are a bit older and they've got a long tradition, let's say. So I am sure you're very curious to know how to apply for MIBE. Obviously, a 3-year bachelor degree is necessary, MIBE being a master's degree. And then it's obviously preferable to have a background in the areas of management, business, and economics. But the important thing is that you satisfy the following requirements, which are you need to have in your bachelor degree enough exams in the areas of business and management, which normally we ask for 24 credits, mathematics and statistics, 12 credits, economics, 12 credits, English language, 5 credits. Obviously, I'm talking in terms of European credits, but students from foreign countries that do not have the ECTS system or do not have the credit system, they can still apply specifying the number of study hours they've had on each exam. When they apply, they will find on the application portal an Excel file with a column where they can specify the number of hours for each exam they took. Another thing to point out is English language. Obviously, students that graduated or are studying in English language speaking countries obviously already satisfy the requirement for the English language. If you do not have 5 credits of English language in your bachelor degree, it's also possible to provide an English language certification which is internationally accepted, like TOEFL, IELTS, etc. All right, let's carry on and have a look at the application procedure. First of all, MIBE is, has a set number of seats. I think we started in 2016 when, you know, we had so many applications, and obviously there's a certain number of students that classrooms can contain. So it was decided to put a set number of seats. So I have to be honest with you, the selection is tough. At the moment we have 2 blocks, and we have the European students plus non-European students that are living in Italy. They are residing in Italy regularly, and they have 85 seats assigned to them. So they have a particular channel where to apply, and their application opened from the 1st of March up to the end of June. And I've reported at the bottom a link where you will find all the details on the procedure. I can also add that 85 is the total number of seats. In case by the end of June this number is not reached, the number of admissions doesn't reach 85, there will be a second set of applications, which is very, very short, in July, for any remaining seat. Okay? So my advice is obviously the sooner the better. The sooner you apply, the better, because you may have more chances, because as I said, the selection is pretty tough. Regarding non-EU students, they have a different channel for applications and a different number, which is 40. We receive applications literally from all over the world, and there are 2 sets of applications. 35 seats are going to be assigned from the 1st of February, so basically tomorrow we open, until the end of March. And then there will be another set of applications from the 2nd of May up to the 15th of May. So 5 seats plus any seat which may still be left from the first set of applications. Again, at the bottom you find a link where you will find all the information. They are all on MIBE website in this section, how to apply. I believe this presentation is also being recorded, so we will definitely make it available for you to look more carefully. Okay? Now, as I said, there is obviously an application process and an admission process. with some criteria by which we select students. You will find, I have reported a link, let me see if I manage, yeah, here. There will be a link where you find in detail all the criteria used for the selection, but I've summarized some elements which are definitely considered. The first one is obviously to have quite a good mark average in your bachelor degree or final grade or GPA. Then you do get also some points if you have graduated quite recently, so no more than 2 years before the application date, or you're very close to graduation. Then also having an internationally recognized English language certification gives you a bonus. Having had some study experience abroad, so for example, in case of European students, having had an Erasmus experience, having studied abroad or in a university which is not the one from where you live. And then a GMAT or grade certificate. This is very important because you do get points for having this certificate, but depending on the mark, if you get a mark over 550, then you get direct admission to the program. So I'm talking in terms of GMAT, but also grade certification is accepted, converted into GMAT. And if the score is over 550, that's it, you're in. Right, considering all these elements, as I said, for each element, as some points are given, in order to reach the admission threshold, you need to score at least 32 points. And with 32 points, there's a chance to be admitted. I can also add that there have been cases of students that were kind of borderline, for example, 30 points, 31 points. We also look at their CV, and if we see some interesting elements on top of the elements that have been listed above, we give them a chance of interview. So don't worry if you don't fully reach the number of points, because there may be the chance of an interview as well. That's it. I think I've finished, but obviously if you have any more questions regarding the admission process, I'm very happy to answer.
Great, perfect. Thank you, Elena. And well, all of you already for your input and your great experience with this program. Now we're going over to the Q&A, so the time for your questions. For the live audience, you can write your questions at any time, and we try to answer them in the next 15 minutes or so. And for the people watching the recording, you can still write your questions as well. So it works as well for you. You can write your questions. Of course, we cannot answer them right away. However, they will be sent through to the staff of University of Pavia. All right. I also put some links on the screen. I will put the application link also in the chat just to make sure. But yeah, already a couple of links were shared on the screen, so you could have a look right after the session at your own pace. All right, let's go over to some of the questions we received. Sonia was asking, what jobs can I get with this degree? I think you mentioned something about this, but maybe you want to re-emphasize this.
Yeah, sure. So there is a full range of opportunities for all of you who are going to graduate from the Sustainable Management curriculum at the Master International Business and Entrepreneurship. However, you can be a social entrepreneur. You can also apply for a Chief Sustainability Officer position. you can apply for ESG analyst. Also, you can be part of an analyst company, so providing rating to companies. You can work within the finance sector, so as a sustainable finance employee. You can be part of the supply chain department, so being an expert of a sustainable supply chain. So I think that this is just a subset of all of the job opportunities you've got.
Great, thank you. I saw some thumbs up, so I guess that is answering part of that question. Great. Next question, Palasanu, if I say that right, asks, is the course on site?
Yeah, so when we moved back after the pandemics, all of the learning programs at the University of Pavia became fully in presence. So there are no realistic options for those of you who would like to have an online program. Moreover, it is very, very funny to be in Pavia and enjoy the experience of staying together, working with your mates. I don't know, having playing as a member of a hackathon, or being part of an entrepreneurial challenge, which are some of the opportunities that the program is offering to you. It's very, very difficult to do so from a distance. So that's why we encourage people to come over to Pavia and to experience the atmosphere here in Pavia.
Perfect. Great. Hope that answered that for you, Palasunu. Sanu. Abusar is asking, does every student in sustainable management have the ability to enroll in a double degree? And what are the requirements for that?
So in order to apply for a double degree program, there is a specific call, which usually is issued in January every year. And you need to satisfy some criteria. Some of those are related to the average grades that you've already got. Some of them are related to the number of credits that you collected up until the date of application. So there is a specific call for double degree. However, I would like to point out that thus far we have satisfied 99%, let's be more realistic, 95% of all of the requests for double degree applications. So there are a very huge number of seats available for double degree options.
Yeah, what may happen is that you are given, I think, 3 choices for, three different universities abroad, and they give a ranking according, they assign you a score, and obviously there's a ranking. So the worst case scenario is that you may, if you are quite low in the ranking, you get maybe your 3rd option and not your 1st. But normally all the requests have been satisfied.
Okay, thank you. And that gets the thumbs up too. Great. Next question, Bahus, if I say that right, is asking, do you offer any financial support?
So according to your economic background, of course, there are some scholarships that you can be assigned. So you need to apply for scholarship, and depending on your economic status, basically, you might be given this opportunity. But I'm also asking Elena if she wants to contribute here.
Yes, the main one that the university can offer is managed by an external body working with university. It's called EDISU, and they manage the students' residencies. We have quite a large network of students' residencies, and they also offer some scholarships. As Chiara said, applications normally open in June, July for scholarships, and in August for accommodation. And they offer scholarships that are calculated according to the financial status of the family. So students have to provide some documents proving the financial status, and then according to that, they are assigned a scholarship.
Okay.
There are other options, but not managed by the University of Pavia. I am aware, for example, of one which is just opening, which is Invest Your Talent in Italy. It's a scholarship offered by the ministry in Rome. But there are only some eligible countries, so it depends where you're from, obviously. So you need to check the list of eligible countries. There is a section on MIBE website. If you go in the section how to apply and scroll down, you will see there's a section on financial support, and you will see all the options listed there.
I would like to thank everybody for joining the webinar, but I really need to go now for prior commitments. And thank you for all of your interest into the sustainable management curriculum. I would like to thank you, the panel, for contributing to this webinar. I would like to thank Luc for moderating successfully the webinar. And I wish you all the best for your application to the sustainable management curriculum.
Thank you very much. And great to have you with us. We will continue the Q&A part, so we still have some unanswered questions which we'll be dealing with. So don't worry. And we continue those questions. Let me see. Some are already being answered, I see, by, I think, Kalfron. Great, thanks. So Nabit was asking, I want to know about a part-time job for a student in Pavia, as my family's financial situation is not great. So about living costs, is it possible to find a part-time job next to studying?
Okay. Yes. Finding a part-time job outside university, I have to be honest, requires at least some basic Italian. I mean, that's why we have decided to introduce a compulsory language course, Italian language course within the program for foreign students, because they have this disadvantage. If they look, for example, for an internship in the second year, unfortunately, when they go to interviews, Italian companies require at least some basic Italian, and so they are penalized because of this. So part-time job, yes, they are possible, but as I said, some Italian would be highly recommended to learn. Within the university, yes, there's also this option. There's a call, a central call from the university. I think it's out in autumn, and it's possible to apply, and then you are assigned in different offices within the universities. I'm not an expert though on how the selection criteria works, etc. But there are calls for part-time jobs within the university, yes.
Okay, great, thank you. All right, I also like to emphasize that we have actually a student community for the University of Pavia. I put a link in the chat. You can join there to chat amongst students. So we created that especially for any students, looking to study at the Pavia, and you might have people coming from your same country or similar situations, or need help with, visa, scholarships, all these items, housing even. So you can, network and chat with other students via the program. The student community that you see in the chat. All right. Having said that, let's continue with some last questions. Matteo is asking, with
Can I add something on about what you just said?
Sure.
For because for foreign students, unfortunately, it can also become a nightmare. The amount of documents they need to prepare via the Italian embassy abroad in order, to present the documents required for enrollment. It can be pretty tough, and they need some guidance.
Right.
So within the university, we do have an admission office that deals mainly with these issues. And obviously, I am also always very happy to give any type of support.
Perfect. Thank you for adding that. That's, of course, a good resource as well to use. Question from Matteo is, with sustainable management degree, could I work in the energy sector?
Ooh, this is mainly a question for Chiara, but maybe
I think that
Leila?
in the energy sector, the sustainability skills are going to be highly required, and they are still required. Also, during our lectures, we had a guest from Eni, the energy company. So we have a high relationship with the company, and I cannot answer as good as the professor would have answered, but I think that there are lots of opportunity in the energy sector. Yeah.
Perfect. Great. Thank you, Leila. Next question is from Vinay. Let me see. Is GMAT compulsory for this program?
No, the GMAT is not compulsory, but having it is a bonus. According to the score you got, you could get points to increase to get to that 32 threshold, which I mentioned earlier on. So of course it's not compulsory, but it could be handy.
Great. Thank you. I hope that answered it for Vinay. Abdel Karim is asking, if I don't meet the number of credits in economics, is that a problem?
Actually, no. If you're talking about the area of economics, there's some flexibility. The important thing is to have a very strong background in the business and management area, and have a strong background of mathematics. So at least I would say 2 big exams, solid exams of mathematics. Economics is not that essential.
Okay, that is good to know for him, I'm sure. Hope that helps you. Amina asks, if I have 6 CFU in my English, is that okay? I haven't gotten an English certification.
Sorry, I'm not sure I understood fully. She has 6 credits of English language in the bachelor degree, as well as an English certification. Is that correct?
I only know she has 6 CFU in English exam. I don't know about that.
Yeah, if she's got 6 CFU, it's fine. The English language requirement is perfectly satisfied.
Okay. If you need to add something, Amina, let us know. Then we can go in more detail. Abdelkrim, if oh yeah, so he's asking with applying if there's a number they can contact it if they need help. So for the application.
Oh yeah, I'm here. Absolutely.
I guess the question is how can they approach you or your team?
Right. My email address is very easy. It's MIBE at UniPV, University of PV, Pavia, .it.
MIBE
But
at unipv.it.
it is reported, yeah, MIBE at unipv.it. But it's also reported in the how to apply section.
Yep. All right. So it's links and email are given in the chat again as well. So there you go. All right. Last questions we have. Let's see. Emir Khan is asking if we get over 550 from the GMAT, can we get 100% acceptance at second application when in May? So if we get a GMAT of over 550.
He means that if he applies later.
Well, I guess the question is if he gets 100% acceptance with the GMAT of 550.
Oh yeah. That's automatic. You obviously, maybe I forgot to say this. Obviously, as long as the minimal entry requirements are satisfied. So if he satisfies all the requirements, the ones which I said, having enough exams in business and management, mathematics, English language, etc. If he's got a GMAT with a minimum score of 550, admission is automatic.
Guess that's great news. We're getting the thumbs up. Should be good news for American. All right. Last question so at this point is from Palasanu. He said, did I understand correct that Calfron joined the program remote online? I know that Calfron, you answered it, but just in that respect, yeah, just to emphasize if that is possible.
Yeah, the lectures are all in presence, and we don't have anything online. I mean, we have the past year's lectures online where there was COVID, so maybe someone who cannot come here in Pavia can follow the online lectures and then give some exams, but it's going to be a little more difficult.
What I can say is, unfortunately, foreign students get to Pavia quite late. It's happening more and more throughout the years because the visa process is taking longer than before. So we've had students arriving in November, students arriving in December, when lectures started back in September. So they still manage because we have a platform which is called the Kiro platform, which is a platform shared between students and professors, where professors upload study material. And in there are also the recordings of the lectures which were recorded at COVID time. So obviously that helped a lot. But eventually we do hope they manage to come and follow in person, because as Leila said, I think they do miss the best part of MIBE. They really miss the best part.
Yeah, and also given the fact that we have lots of group works and projects, it would be impossible to do that remotely. But the professor will always upload all the slides and the materials that we use on the lessons. So even if someone comes a little bit late, he can, however, study the materials because they are all uploaded online. We have not the lectures, but we have all the materials.
So what that means is that you want to apply tomorrow and start getting it done. I did mine in February, and then I got it done in time. So just get it done. If you want to go to school here, apply as fast as you can so you can start the process, because it does take a few months. So
Great.
And-
Thank you, all of you, for your answers and your feedback. And that pretty much concludes the Q&A part. Unless there's a last question still coming in, we can take it. Just to mention, for people watching the recording, you can also still write your questions. If people join live but later and you missed something, you can stay on actually and watch the session from the start. It will start in a couple of minutes and restart it. And we will all send you the recording so you have it as well. Just in case if you want to see it again or share it. And with that, basically concludes the session. I have a last polling question coming up for everyone. So I appreciate everyone's answers. By the way, also people watching the recording, you can also participate in all those pollings. There is the last one that you can see in the stream. We'd like to know how we did. How did you feel the session went? 5 for being awesome. So let us know, and any feedback you like to give in the chat, you can do that as well. We hope we managed to give you a great session answering your questions. And from my side, I'd like to thank everyone for joining, all the participants to join in from different countries, a great variety of countries, great to see. And also the panelists, let's say the speakers. So thanks for joining remotely, Kelfron. I know it was early for you, but thanks a lot. And also Leila and Elena, and of course Chiara, who had to go. But all of you, thank you very much for your time and your feedback. And with that, we will conclude the session. Thanks, everyone, and hope to see some of you in maybe Pavia next year.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.